everyone. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day so far. Today I wanted to bring to you another story time episode. And the story I'm going to bring to you today is about when my family and I got stranded in Florence, Italy. Now, this for me happened in high school, and if you are new to my channel, note that I did used to live abroad when I was in high school. I lived in the Czech Republic, so we had gone to the Amalfi Coast and vacation there for spring break. This was in mid-April, and we used Positano as our home base. So we're in the Amalfi Coast, we're having a phenomenal time. We were on Positano when we just so happened to run into friends of ours. And crazy experience, but we have a weird thing that when we say we're gonna run into somebody, we never do, but then when we don't say it, we always run into someone. And by happenstance, we ran into friends of ours, and they had mentioned, well, did you hear about the volcano erupting in Iceland? And we had no idea at this point that this had happened. And this was on Wednesday, and it was either Wednesday or Thursday. I know the volcano erupted on Wednesday, but I don't remember if we saw them on Wednesday or Thursday. I think we saw them on Wednesday. I'm pretty sure we saw them on Wednesday, because I believe we were set to leave on Friday. Sure. But we had no idea, and we kept checking the news, and nothing, even though it said that airways were closing, there was nothing about our flight actually being canceled. So when we're driving to the airport, we're driving, and my dad is constantly on his phone checking to see if our flight had been canceled. We were flying out of the Naples airport, and nothing said that your flight was canceled, delay, nothing. We get to the airport, and they're like, yeah, we have officially closed all airways across Europe. And we're like, great, solid. So we are frantically trying to figure out how to get out. So we rent actually the last car in Naples, Italy. And I'm talking the very last car. I mean, it was that episode of How I Met Your Mother where Marshall was trying to rent a car, and the older guy is just like, here you go, here you go, here you go. Oh, here's the last one. That was what this was like. We got the last car in Naples, and thank God my dad knows how to drive a stick shift. So we rented a car, and our plan was to drive up to Rome because they have two fairly large train stations there. So our plan was to drive up there and see if we can get a train out of Rome back to Prague. And we quickly realized that is so not gonna happen. I mean, it was mad chaos. And there was no way. So we, as a family, decided, well, Florence is our favorite city in Italy. Let's just drive there. So we do. So we drive to Florence. We get a hotel for the weekend, and we spent a couple days in Florence, and that was a solid time. We kind of did the things that we didn't get the opportunity to do the first time we visited Florence, which was at that point I think 4 years ago. So we went to a different side of the city. We toured that area. Did not know this, but apparently my parents toured the International School of Florence while my brother and I were still asleep / eating breakfast, because they considered sending my brother there. LOL. They didn't, but that's for other reasons. But we did have a very lovely extended vacation. Now for school, the administration had decided they couldn't cancel classes. From what I remember, part of the reason was because in order to meet the legal requirement of hours of education, they weren't able to. We were going under a huge renovation that summer, so there was absolutely no wiggle room to even like extend the school year by a week or anything. Like, there was no flexibility. So they were trying to think of contingency plans for our students that were in other continents. I had a couple of friends who were Skyping in a few days because for IB, International Baccalaureate, you really can't miss school. That's very hard. If you are in the IB program, you really can't miss classes. So I had two friends that would Skype in for class while they were, one was in the States and another one I believe was in Africa. So they were Skyping in. My brother and I believe we had missed, I think we missed 2 days. I think Monday was the day we officially left Florence and Tuesday was the day that we got back. We went to school on Wednesday. But we had no clean clothing, so we went to Zara and H&M and bought more clothing. I also still have a assortment of Florence tourist clothing that we had kind of like emergency purchased because we didn't know where actual shops were when we first got in. We just needed clothing. So I have 2 shirts from Florence that just say like Florence in giant letters on. I remember looking at my mom and I'm like, Mom, I refuse. I will not wear this. Like, they're cute, but I will not wear these around Florence. So we ended up finding a Zara and H&M and we got a lot of really cool things. None of which I still own because I don't fit into, but it was an experience, let me tell you. But it made for a fun happenstance. I got stranded in Florence because of a volcano. Somehow I was able to find our favorite gelato shop, which is Vivoli Il Gelato. If you have not been there, if you're going to Florence, highly recommend them. The concierge of the hotel the first time we went had told us you have to go here, like you have to go this one, here's how you get there. Somehow, I don't know how, but I remembered how to get there from our old hotel. Don't know how that happened, but I remembered. I have a very weird memory. If it's food related, I will probably remember it. But we went there, and then we went to this restaurant that we had gone to in one of the main squares. I don't quite remember which square, but I know how to get there. If I was there, I could find it. But we went there and we recreated a family photo that we had taken at our previous trip, and then we were on a train to go home. Now, the train ride home was interesting because our actual cabin, which there are 4 of us in my family, we shared with 2 other people. That cabin originally was supposed to be for the conductor, but I guess they had opened up that cabin for 6 more people to get out of Florence. And there were suitcases and bags everywhere on this train. I mean, everywhere. There was not I don't think there was a hallway when we first left Florence that did not have baggage just outside there, because there physically wasn't enough space for everybody's baggage. I mean, even with the compartments up top, there was not enough space. So that was fun. My parents did not sleep that night because our baggage was outside of our respective cabin. So we took a train from Florence to Vienna, and then we changed trains from Vienna and we got back to Prague. And we got back to Prague, I want to say early afternoon-ish, give or take. I will say, getting to spend extra days in Florence was phenomenal. The train ride back was not the greatest. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't the worst thing that could have happened, but it was not what I would consider to be a pleasant experience. But it made for a great story, which I have just shared for you now. So I will see you all very soon, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. If you have a story in which you were stranded somewhere, comment it down below. I would love to hear about it, and I'll see you very soon. Bye!